Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Kingdom Hearts 3 playthrough. So, the game may be over, but there's still a lot of this playthrough to go, because as, you know, I do every single time I ever do a playthrough, there's always a plethora of extras, and there is a lot of extra content in Kingdom Hearts 3. And a lot of extra content that I just wanted to do because I was having such a good time playing the game that I just wanted to experience it all. So that's exactly what you're going to get. We're going to cover everything from the Flantastic 7 to all of the mini games to all of the gummy ship to all of the battle gates. We're going to do every single recipe and the secret boss, and it's all going to be really delightful. I will point out there are a couple of things that you will not be seeing in these extras. The first is completing all the synthesis, because that did take quite a while, and honestly, as much as I would have loved showing you guys that, it was just a lot of grinding to get things, and honestly nobody needs to see that. So you're not going to see that. You're not going to see me level Sora up to level 99, because also grinding, nobody needs to see that. And I can't believe I missed that treasure chest. I really cannot. I can't believe I missed it. Still, so yes, you're not going to see those two things. And also something that I found out about very recently, actually, is obviously I did mention that you can return to the final world after, you know, once the portal is here, which is what we're doing now. We'll go straight there, largely because there is a treasure chest in here. It's the only treasure chest in the world to get, and it's very important if you want to get Ultima Weapon, because it contains an Orichalcum Plus, which is necessary to get that. Nice. But yes, what you can do in the final world is you can try and collect all of the Soras again. If you do that, you, I believe, get HP ups at 222 Soras and 333 Soras. So, basically, if you want to sort of fully max out Sora, you are going to have to do that, but there is absolutely nothing in the game that dictates that you need to do that. There's no trophy associated with getting all of the Soras. I feel like perhaps there should have been, because that would have definitely given me the incentive to go do that, and if that had been a thing, I potentially would have included it. But it's okay, because honestly, we're not really going to need to do any of that anyway, so it's all good. But everything else is going to be here. Oh yes, I also forgot, we are going to show, well, I am going to show off all of the Classic Kingdom minigames as well, because they're all good. So as you can see, I managed to get quite a lot of the Flans. I didn't get high scores on all of them, but that's fine. Also, we don't need to worry about lucky emblems, because, you know, I did actually manage to get all of them in the main body of the playthrough. So that's all delightful. So if you want to know where they're all located, obviously you can see them all here very quickly, yada yada yada. You've seen where they are throughout the playthrough, it makes sense. Obviously all the story goodness, and throughout the course of these extras I will definitely, I think, go more into detail with some of my opinions regarding the ending, generally how I feel the narrative was handled. Obviously I did some of that in the finale itself, but I'll probably go into more detail on it, because there is plenty of time for me to sort of actually go quite a bit more in depth. Yes, annoyingly, if you go back in here, you do have to collect all the 111 to begin with, and then continue on to the others. So I was just like, no, that's not happening. I will also show you the missable cutscenes that you can get in the final world, so you know they're actually there, and I don't completely not show them, because obviously they are quite important cutscenes and I do want to show them off. So, as I said, we are going to be here for quite a while. Like, I'm talking a good, I think it's 17 parts. Is that right? I'm gonna have to double check my numbers now. That's ridiculous. Oh no, 18 parts of extras. I did think 17 was slightly off, because I know what number I end on. So yes, 18 parts of extras. So, if you thought I was going away anytime soon, you've still got me for quite a few weeks left. Because obviously, once this playthrough is complete, that is the end of my time doing solo commentary on YouTube. So, part of this was I wanted to drag this out, get me to my YouTube anniversary, and that will make me happy. And that's exactly what ended up happening. And what's really quite cool is that at the end of the day, my Kingdom Hearts 3 playthrough, in terms of part total, is going to be exactly the same number of parts as my original Kingdom Hearts playthrough. And I just think that's a really awesome sort of bookending to this saga. That makes me so happy. But yes, after picking up those two final treasure chests, it is time for us to begin with the first challenge that you can take on in the post-game, and that is the Flantastic 7. Showed off some of them throughout the course of the playthrough, but today we are going to do a phenomenal job and get the high scores that we need to make the Flans really, really happy. I believe that I did cut out all of the failed attempts to get the scores I need, because on certain ones, particularly this one, the Cherry Flan, I have to say, is not my favourite. I think it's probably my least favourite, and it's the one that I find the most frustrating to get a high score on, because you've got to go down at speed, and if you want the high score, you've got to sort of hit there, make that very tight manoeuvre, and yeah, just sort of not screw up. Here I was getting very, very nervous, because yeah, basically you've got that time limit. If you end up stopping at any point, you're screwed, because it's just going to sort of cut you off and you have whatever score you have. If you want to sort of get your scores, you need to get 10,000 points to get one sour cherry, which is an ingredient that you need for some of the special recipes. You need to get 20,000 points in order to get the "Yay, you are a success" animation, and that will give you this says 2 sour cherries, I could have sworn it was 3, but it might be 2, and a form change extender ability. So basically, if you follow the route that I took, then you are pretty much guaranteed to get those 20,000 points. You just need to, you know, make sure you do it actually, well, I thought it was 3, not 2. So every flan, if you do the sort of best score, it will give you 3 of its recipe item and an ability. I believe pretty much all of them are form change extenders, so that's quite nice. And right here I just thought, you know what, I haven't actually I need to, well, part of me was thinking, I need to use Starlight, because obviously I got it at in the Keyblade Graveyard and then did not use it. Largely because, you know, weaker Keyblade, why on earth would I do that? Because there was no real point at which you could... Well, I mean, there were the Moogle shops in the Skein of Severance, but... Honestly, I've never found Starlight to be the most amazing Keyblade. As it's basically a better Kingdom Key, but better is debatable. Anyway, next up on our list, I'm basically going in the order we visited these worlds because that feels like the right thing to do. So the next one on our list is the Strawberry Flan. Now, we did manage to do very well at this the last time we were here. And we did manage to get that ultra high score, but for completion's sake, and because I feel like I should put all of the Flantastic Flans together in one place, and also it's actually going to be quite helpful for me come trying to do all the recipes, because obviously I'm going to need those strawberries, because I might screw up. It's very likely that I'm going to screw up, so the more items I can get, the better. And actually, I would say that the Strawberry Flan is probably one of the easier ones. I mean, as you can see on my first one, where I had absolutely no idea what I was doing, I managed to get 18,600, and that is sort of a good 1,000 over the limit of what I needed to get. So, honestly, if you want an easier flan to sort of start yourself off on, this is probably a good shout. Although, I did find when I was recording this one that I actually found it a lot easier when I was just like, I have no idea what I'm doing, I'm just sort of rolling with it. Because just sort of in the chaos, everything just sort of happened and got successful. I can't remember whether I do end up with a higher score in this because I knew what I was doing. Okay, no, it does look like I am going to get a higher score in the end. But it is one where you really don't have to think too hard about what you're doing. Because it just sort of all happens. I mean, as you can see, I've already gotten up to 19,000. Probably, I think, not going to get too much higher than that. But it would be nice if I could get over 20,000. But I'm going to have to do quite a bit of... Oh no, I did! I did! Hey! I managed it in this sort of dying seconds. So as you can see, that one is really quite easy to do well at. You honestly don't need to worry at all. So there's me 3 strawberries, and because I've already got the ability from that one, it's all good. And the ability was an attraction extender. So I'm quite happy with that one. That was very smooth. And next up we go to one that I didn't find in my initial run through. And it's basically just because where it shows up, it doesn't actually appear there until really after you've beaten the world. I mean, it's the same with all of them. But it's kind of just outside the tower area. So you do have to sort of... You have to know where to go, but I thought it was in the marsh, but it's not in the marsh. You want to go to the tower, and then sort of run through the little tunnely area, and then you end up at the next flan. And I have to say this one's pretty good as well. It's quite fun, it's quite adorable. I don't know what it's taking me so bloody long to select my location. Like, I honestly don't know what I'm doing. Go to the tower. That's where you want to go. I think it's because it's just like, all this grassland, it looks too similar. Ah! It's ridiculous. But yes, we are going to come up against the orange flan. And the orange flan is very unique because it is going to make use of a very special piece of equipment that we have been using throughout our adventure, and that is the gummy phone. Yes, the orange flan is very photogenic and wants you to, I'd say snap a selfie, but it's not really, it just wants its photo taking. It wants a portfolio of work for you to, for it to get some decent shows, I think, in the grand scheme of things. It basically just wants its headshots. The other thing that we will be doing is we will be completing all of those photo missions, because why the hell not? And while I can definitely say to you that, well, you're not going to see it, I did Platinum Kingdom Hearts 3. Very proud of myself on that one. You don't need to fully level up all of your Keyblades in order to get that. So that's fine by me. And I have to say, I don't quite know what I'm doing right now. I think I was just sort of, yeah, why not whilst I'm here, try and level all these off to get them to whatever level of stock I wanted. I don't bloody know. Also, I was having a moment there going, I'm pretty sure I've got a storm anchor, because I'm pretty sure that Goofy's using it.
There's a mailbox in Twilight Town.
And he is, so clearly when it's equipped it's not showing up in there, which makes sense. But it does make for being slightly confused, because, I mean, as you can tell, I get easily confused by certain things. It happens. But I suppose the sort of... Obviously I've already spoken about the orange flan, we'll get to that. Not very long ago, when I'm actually recording this commentary, the DLC, there was a trailer for the Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC. I can only apologise there was a bit of a burp in my voice there. Craziness. But yes, Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind, the DLC, had a trailer that was released at E3, and oh boy, the implications. Playable Riku, playable Aqua, playable Roxas, limit cutscenes, also...
Let's see.
I think it was a secret episode, and all sorts, and some of the cutscenes just, oh my god, there's so much going on there. It's going to be crazy, and I cannot wait. Unfortunately, you know, I'm not going to be recording that for you guys, because once I get to the end of this playthrough, so Vanilla Kingdom Hearts 3, I am done. That is my time done with solo commentary. I've decided now I'm not coming back on solo commentary duty. So I won't be showing that off, but I'm very excited, and I definitely plan to play it, because I had so much fun with Kingdom Hearts 3 that honestly I'll just keep playing. And the more opportunity they give me to do that, the more I'll take.
Let's see.
So yes, that was a thing that was recently revealed and very exciting. Now, since we're actually in the Orange Flan mission, you have to take 7 photos specifically. You want to get excellent on all of them. Some of these are definitely easier than others. There's one which is definitely special that you're going to want to go for perhaps more than some of the others. The 2 mini orange flans, definitely go for them because they're very easy. It's basically just take a picture when they appear. The other flans, you've got to be very careful in your timing. So any of the flans that are sort of hovering to get to the butterflies, you have basically just got to wait until they're sort of at the peak of their flight and then take the photo. This particular one's quite easy because it's just wait until all of the birds are on him. That one works out quite nicely. There's one which you'll easily spot it, and I believe that it is the one that you are definitely going to want to get, because I think it does give you an extra bonus. There are 2 flans. Yes, here they are, up on a branch. If you sort of edge towards them, get your camera out, then after a bit they will dive bomb off and turn into a wonderful set of pancakes. Definitely get that photo, because it's quite easy and I think it just gives you a bonus as well. So in order for your prizes, you need to get over 10,000 points to get 2 blood oranges, and over 23,000 points to get 3 blood oranges and a treasure magnet ability. Basically, you want to get an excellent on every single photo in order to make sure that you achieve that. Because you do only have 7 photos to pull this off on, so just aim for excellent on everything. That'll put you in the best stead for achieving the high score, because ultimately you do want to get the high scores on every single flan. And the reason for that is because once you do that, you'll get an Orichalcum Plus, and getting that will allow you to get the ultimate weapon, and the ultimate weapon is amazing. This one you do have to wait a bit in order to get the photo for the excellent, but you can probably tell that you're basically waiting for all of them to move forward at the same time and pose correctly. I believe it does take 3 times, so it is very consistent. But as you can see, 28,100 points, so I think we can chalk that one up to a success! As I do quite enjoy that one, obviously, because it makes use of the gummy phone, and it is a very unique flan. And also, yes, I was just like, oh, Ally should take photos, and I was just like, oh yes, I didn't take one of Herc, did I? I will go back and do that eventually, but it'll be like one of the last things I do when I'm dealing with the photo missions. You get the gist. So with all that done, it's time to move on to the next sort of galaxy of all the worlds. Because we have 4 more flans to take on. The flans do only turn up in the Disney World, so there's none in Twilight Town, there's none in the Keyblade Graveyard. So you don't need to sort of handle them. So that is fine. So the next one is we're going to Monstropolis to take on the Banana Flan. I don't know what the sort of small score is to get the 1 banana, but your aim is to get over 20,000 points to get 3 bananas and a Grand Magic Extender. This one, actually, in the grand scheme of things, once you've got the best magic possible, is really quite easy. Because, effectively, all you want to do is have Thundaga and use Thundaga. Because, yeah, it's basically your go-to. Also, Eroga is quite good because, obviously, it's glorious ultra-destructive powers. Basically, all magic, very useful for this particular flan. Although I did go to I don't know whether I was the closest one. Actually, no, yeah. What you want to do is you want to fast travel to the factory, the basement, and then you can get to the door that will take you to where the banana flan is from there. I just thought, oh, it's in the door vault. That's where I need to go. No. I was very foolish in this, but it does mean that we get to hear a bit more of this glorious music. And we get to spend a bit more time sort of obliterating things. And obviously we do have the Starlight Keyblade equipped right now, so we are going to get to use it at least a little bit. Now it is quite nice because obviously it is the Keyblade that you use in Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. Although I will say that I do prefer it once you've leveled it up in Union Cross. It becomes quite a bit more grandiose than this really quite simple Keyblade. And I know that some people prefer the simple Keyblade designs over the more fantastical ones. Because I know that some of those more fantastical ones people do think are quite over-designed, shall we say. And obviously don't really want to have majorly overly designed things, because that's not fun. Yeah, as you can see, the Starlight Keyblade, it's basically just the main Keyblade with extra bells and whistles. But yes, here we go. I believe we did take this one on in the main story,
I think we should check out what's over there.
but this time is going to go a lot better, because I have much better magic. So, yes, 3,200 points. It did not go well for me last time. But yes, using Eruga and Thundaga, very, very good, because obviously then you get to, like, Eruza. And as you can see, we have hardly been in this at all, and we have already done a phenomenal job with the squad. I mean, we've already hit 20k. Like, as you can see, once you've actually got the things that you need, this particular flan can be ludicrously easy. And obviously I got to this point, it was just like, well, I can see how far I can go, but it was just like, yeah, I'll just get hit, because 30k, more than enough to get the score that we needed. So it's all going pretty well. As I said, the only one that I really found frustrating was the Cherry Flan in Olympus, because it was so gosh darn finicky in terms of its controls. It just was... It didn't work quite as well as I would have liked, and the manoeuvrability of the shield was not great either. So it's certainly something that I would quite happily not do again. Annoyingly, I'm pretty sure I did have to do it numerous times again in order to get ingredients, which is very infuriating, but these things happen, and you can't always help them. But yes, with the banana flan done and dusted, it's time to move on to the next one, which is going to be in Arendelle. Thankfully, this one's going to be really, really, really quick to get to. Just hop on over to the mountain ridge with Elsa's castle, and then we're just going to leap off a cliff. Also, I love how there are these mysterious Kingdom Hearts instas from the non-existent channels that, you know, spoilers, hashtag light of the past. It's just like if young Ericus and young Xehanort had access to these things, couldn't you know, they just like tweeted us, say, oi, watch out for this thing. Would have been nice, wouldn't it? Useless people. So, just jump off the cliff here, well, not quite here, but just over here, and you can make your way to the Grape Flan. Now, the Grape Flan is very magically inclined. Effectively, what you want to do is you want to defeat them as fast as possible. And they will sort of attack you with their own magic. You kind of want to avoid that. If you can, you want to block the magic attacks to leave them open to attack, and then you go in sort of for the kill, using their sort of the magic trails to sort of quickly get to them. That actually isn't sort of the best way to go about this. The best way is use Thundaga and Thundaza, and then sort of just go in on all the extra bits. If you got some ethers, make use of them. If you get over 17,000, you'll get 1 grape. If you get over 20,000, you'll get 3 grapes and Unison Blizzard. I would say this one's middling in terms of its overall difficulty, because obviously with Thundaga you can do some really, really good destructive things and very easily get over 20k, but obviously if you keep getting hit, as I tend to do, it can sometimes go slightly sideways for you. But as you can see, I did manage to get sort of over 30,000 before the end, so it all worked out. So yes, that was one of the other flans that I did not find in my initial run. And thankfully went down quite quickly. And at this point, I was just like, I want to go back to the top. I think there might be a wall somewhere that does allow you slightly quicker, a slightly quicker return to the top, but I couldn't be bothered, and I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to leap off a cliff again. Just because I really like jumping off of cliffs. It's really satisfying. Don't judge me. So yeah, that's 5 down, 2 to go. And next up is one that we didn't do the best job at last time. And that is the one in the Caribbean. Basically, head on over to the fort, and we are going to take on the Watermelon Flan and its Flanvasion, as the IGN guide calls it, which I do quite like as a name. I feel like the game might call it that as well, because it just really likes the flan pun. Obviously, Flantastic 7. I don't know what their obsession with flans was in this game. I wonder whether they sort of had all cooking stuff in Final Fantasy 15. I mean, that's definitely what inspired Remy and the Bistro. But I wonder whether that is also what inspired the invasion of the flans. So yes, here we go with the Watermelon Flan. As I said, I had basically the right idea when I was first playing through this, in terms of just sort of go through and sort of keep going left to right. But the idea is that whenever the huge flan appears, that's when you go and hit the bell. Because that is going to make it much more likely that you're actually going to hit the damn thing. Obviously you do sometimes have to wait a little bit, And you aren't always going to hit the giant Flan. You do have to sort of time it so that the cannonballs go out when he's sort of beginning to dip into range. So it is quite challenging. I would say that this is another of the sort of really quite difficult Flan mini-games. Because to get one watermelon you need to get over 17,000 points. To get the high score you need to get over 29,000 points. And obviously, as you can see, it can get slightly close. I just got really lucky that I had that kind of thing right at the end there, just to push me over the line. Because, yeah, so I think watermelon Flan, cherry Flan, definitely my least favourite of the Flans. And I think that is just because they are the most challenging to succeed at. And while, I mean, you know, Chatbait Challenge is always nice, I do think that they do slightly more on cheap than Challenge. So, hey, you win some, you lose some. So with that, we are on to our final Flan. And obviously, final Flan is located in San Francisco, and it is the Honeydew Flan. Basically, you want to go to the South District at night and climb the towers. It's the one where you've got to do all the jumping between Flans. So, bit dangerous, but it should be fun. And also I love the fact that, as with most extras videos, I feel, I basically just talk second, like, 10 to the dozen. I've just realised that sort of, you know, we're edging towards the 40-minute mark and was like, I've not really stopped. I suppose this is what happens when you have sort of all those cutscene parts, or lots of cutscenes in a part, and it's just like, oh, I like having this break. But then the second that there's all sorts of gameplay occurring, I just get verbal diarrhea. Clearly it's just the multiple parts of my personality just coming out into force and being completely crazy. But it's all okay, because we're just going to sort of plug on. And also, one of the things that, well, a couple of things, I realised that I was really not using many of my Keyblades as effectively as I could have done. Because with, oh god, I can't even remember the name of the Olympus Keyblade. Now, can't remember it, but actually can't remember the name of most of the Keyblades at this point. Doesn't really matter. But the Olympus Keyblade and also the one that you get from the Bistro, which I will show off, the best way of succeeding with those is that you block with them and then you're able to shoot out a super powerful attack. Didn't do that at all. The Ever After Keyblade, which is the one from Tangled and Kingdom of Corona. That one, dodging creates the mirages and then you can shoot with the mirages, and that can be quite awesome. Didn't do that. There's many different quirks with these Keyblades. Never used. But obviously you don't need to use them, so it's fine. So yeah, with this one, it's basically just a case of moseying on forward. What I think is generally recommended is that as soon as one of them starts to glow, that's when you want to go for it, because that's what's going to allow you to actually succeed at this. And it's okay-ish up to a few thousand points in. In order to get the high score that you're after, you want to get up to 15,000 points to get the melons. So that does make me confused as to how this is meant to be the honeydew flan, but you get melons. So I would call that the melon flan. But there we go, these things have all various different names. So it hasn't quite happened yet. I can't remember whether it's when you get over 12,000 points that your jumps suddenly sort of start putting you into a dive. That's when it gets particularly challenging because... oh no, it's not quite that. There we go. Okay, so it's basically just as you go in to hit the final jump, really, that you need to get your score, that you're gonna end up with getting so much height that you do start to go into a dive, which obviously puts you at much greater risk of failing, because you start sort of seemingly falling quicker. It does also make aiming slightly more difficult because Sora takes up a lot more screen space. But there we go. That is every single one of the Flantastic flans. And we've high scored every single one of them. So the flans are very, very happy right now. And for that, we get Attraction Centre, we get the Flaniversary badge and our Orichalcum Plus. So, good day's work, I think. And with all that done, it's time to move on to the next part of the extras. I can't tell what the hell we're doing in that one, but it's going to be fun all the same. See you then.